Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am so glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, July 29th, 2023. In this video, I want to take a look at Project Bluebeam, maybe not from a typical vantage point, because I am all about having those of us who listen to alt news or, have come across my channel to be very savvy and discerning consumers of information. I am all for us shaking off any shackles of fear, anxiety, and stress that have been artificially placed over us or are attempted to be placed over us. And certainly the premise of Project Bluebeam causes some stress and anxiety to those who don't have the skills yet to use their discernment and to step out of matrix thinking. Okay, let's talk about what Project Bluebeam is, and then we'll do a reading, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are for the question, and we'll learn together what the universe wants us to know. I'm going to just a very short compilation. You can also check it out later if you'd like. Just notice where I've referenced or follow the Facebook link that's in the video description box. But please know, there has been information out for decades about Project Bluebeam. And I'm showing two sources, there's thousands. So I encourage you to take your pick. And even on the YouTube platform where this video will be primarily viewed, you can just check the search box for Project Bluebeam and find lots of references. Okay, let's go to my short compilation, and then we'll talk about the question we're going to be asking the universe. Okay, Project Bluebeam. I want you to know that in this age of unfettered information, the most significant struggle is not the pursuit of truth, but the discernment of deception. As we wake up, we start off looking for truth, but then we find out how much even more important it is to be able to discern deception. And this Project Bluebeam is all about deception. It is a planned, by use of technologically simulating an alien invasion or a significant return of somebody that should be worshipped or what have you. That was the original intent. I included a Twitter short video, 1 minute, 1 second, I believe, that gives you an introduction into what it is and how nefarious it is. And then an older article that listed it back when they weren't thinking that the alien invasion angle was the way it would go. It was more that it was going to be a religiously significant event when it happened. Now, since in this past week, the US government chose to try to distract us by having some hearings about UFOs so that we didn't think about Hunter Biden's legal predicament, the issues of ill-gotten gain that 46 is having to try to ignore or live down, and many of the other issues that are really relevant in our country, including, lost little ones at the border and all sorts of things like our dollar isn't worth a penny anymore. No, they finally decided to talk about aliens, UFOs. And luckily, the sense of dramatic of those who try to roll out these events and distract us hasn't caught up with, I think, even our normies kind of yawned at these disclosures. They're so far past accepting it that it's not the earth-shattering revelation and distraction that they hoped it would be. Okay, so if Project Bluebeam were to roll out in a significant or large-scale effort to occur, it would, again, by using technology and simulating, actions of an ET nature, they would try to instill fear and panic, and again, get the populace so concerned for their safety and survival of the fittest that they would give up more freedoms and allow for more control. Since they're doing the hearings about UFOs, It does seem like that's not a closed option, something that might still be on the table. So let's ask the universe about it. Now, here's where I want to do something a little different. I believe even everyday people like you and I, we have powers that we're only starting to get an inkling of. Those include our powers to consent or not consent, and our powers to manifest an outcome that we desire, and our powers to ask for and seek some divine and off-world intervention. Because with the non-interference clause in the universe, it's always good to explicitly state what you'd like. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get the result you're hoping for, but the invitation's out there and it removes any barriers of non-interference. So we have some options if this comes into play. Anyway, let's see what the universe has to tell us about Project Bluebeam. And in case there's another project that's got a different name, but it has the same sort of intent, I want to be really smart about how I ask this question. So I'm going to ask the universe to give us some insights and advice about the likelihood that a Project Bluebeam or something similar but with a different name might roll out, and if so, measures, countermeasures, and advice for us if that happens. Let's see what the universe has to say. We'll find out together. A Project Bluebeam, the likelihood that it is going to be attempted or something, of a similar nature attempted. And if so, measures, countermeasures, insights, advice. So likelihood and then what to do next. We would really appreciate that information. Okay, our first card is the Three of Wands, the Tower, Four Cups, Nine of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Yes, they are planning something. Eight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. Okay. Well, here's what I'm getting just as intuitive insights, and then I'll talk about the elements of the cards that led me to say those things. We are still quite likely going to have some sort of a fake alien invasion or ET invasion foisted on us. They are planning that as a big event. The effectiveness of it is decreasing by the minute. And part of that is in small part, is what we're going to talk about here, because this knowledge will get out to people and it will be used and used effectively. Okay, and because of the information we now have available to us, it enables us to look at situations in a new way and realize that we can impact them. They can still roll them out, but our response and even their effectiveness can be impacted by our individual will and things that we do. So here's why I'm saying that. The situation is the Three of Wands, okay, which is looking to the future. They are planning a tower moment. Okay, the tower moment would be the alien invasion. Okay, and these people are falling from the sky. It doesn't get much more clearer than that it is still, especially with the Ace of Pentacles showing up here, because aces are a yes on my reads, no matter where they show up in the spread. Okay, but we'll look at it where it is actually here in addition. Okay, now we don't want to overlook facts and information. Okay, we don't want to get so focused on the drama that we overlook something. And that's something I'm getting is, again, that whole non-interference. We need to, with this, as you watch this, we need to take that off the table so that we can ask for some. Okay. The present situation, nothing to worry about. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence. So people aren't going to fall in line for this, even if they attempt it, not nearly to the degree they hope for. Okay. They recently had a poll about the actor strike. 95% of the people said they didn't care about it. I think they're going to have similar dismal results with their fake alien invasion. Okay, now the near future cards here, kind of interesting. We have Ace of Pentacles. Now that is about manifestation. So that tells me, again, we need to talk about manifesting. And I'm glad I brought that topic up, and we'll get into it in a little more detail. You need to know that it will be skillfully done when it is executed, but we have skills too for manifesting that can make a big difference. In fact, we can impact the efficacy of a Project Bluebeam with the power of our intention, our thoughts, and our minds. Let's get 2 more cards and see what the universe wants us to know before we talk about the manifesting that's being recommended here for us to do. Okay, a card of determination, we have the 7 of Wands. And then we have the 4 of Wands. Wands are our action suit, okay? And this card again, he's got the high ground. He's determined to see something happen. I see this determination as, while yes, the deep state is determined to attempt this, we are going to be equally, if not more so, determined not to let it be effective, not to let it harm or cause stress, fear, and anxiety, or damage humans in any possible way. And that likelihood that we'll be effective with that is great. We got this success card here with the 4 of Wands, and it's a card of agreement and working together. So let's talk about that before we get into a recap. Okay. Before I do the recap, let's talk about manifesting. Manifesting is simply using your thoughts, prayers, and intentions to visualize an outcome you would like to see and put your personal energy into making it happen, guarding that it can't be changed or transmuted in the process. Okay. And joining with others, it can be really effective. I got from this card read that the more of us that do what I'm going to talk about right here, the less effective a Project Bluebeam can be. Okay. So here's what we do, since there is a non-interference clause for the universe. If you are so inclined, I don't want anybody to violate their free will. There's enough people that'll go, heck yeah, I'll do it, that we're going to be fine. If it doesn't violate your free will, then I'm going to model what I'm suggesting for a manifestation and a request for help, and you can utilize something similar on your own if you choose to. So I'm going to ask for divine, according to my faith practice, and off-world, benevolent off-world help. Should a Project Bluebeam be activated, I would like help in having that effect to be ineffective, that project not to work out, that the falseness be disclosed immediately, that the technology at the fingertips of off-world people that we don't have be utilized to render and even make comical any attempts to have a Project Bluebeam or similar item cause terror, shock, harm people in any way, be effective or harmful. I'm going to ask them to step in. And I ask that not with an expectation that they will, but knowing that by asking, I've removed a barrier of them for not being able to, the non-interference clause. So I welcome, ask, and seek divine and off-world, benevolent off-world help should a Project Bluebeam be activated. And I'd like that help to be having it be that Project Bluebeam be a total dismal failure and exposed for the falseness it is. Because we do have friends and neighbors that are off-world that don't need to be feared, that need to be, we need to get ready to share our playground with, okay, and to play nicely with. And it's insulting to them to cast them as a villain when that's not necessarily the case. Okay, now, as you do that, part of manifesting in a smart way is that you also say that this intent of mine and this energy I'm contributing towards that intent may not ever be transmuted, that means changed, altered, or hijacked for other purposes. So I am seeking divine and off-world help should a Project Bluebeam be activated. I'd like that help to render it ineffective, if not comically so. And the energy that I'm contributing by way of this request may never be transmuted, changed, or hijacked in any way. The intent will always remain true to what I have in my heart right now. So that's some of the manifesting you do, okay? Now, we have another option too, and that is the consent option. Feel free to say, I do not consent. I give no consent, or no consent is given to live in a timeline of reality where Project Bluebeam is activated and effective and causes any harm. It may still happen, but it won't happen with my consent. There is no consent coming from me, either explicit, stated, or implied, to live in that reality. So the more we are smart about our consent, the more we are smart about how we make requests and try to manifest good things for our world, the sooner things are going to change in a really beautiful way. And the stronger we're going to be, and the more we're going to open these little doors in our hearts and souls and minds that need to be opened and explored and activated and utilized for good. I truly believe that. Now, a quick recap. We looked into Project Bluebeam, not so much as an introductory thing, because it's been talked about for decades, but more about, is it a likelihood that it's going to be attempted in the near future? Okay, you got a yes with the Ace of Pentacles, but also, since it was in the near future position, this card talks about manifesting, okay? And we got some advice. Our skills, it's going to be a skilled effort on the part that they're putting everything into it. It's kind of like their last hurrah, okay? But our skills of consent and manifesting are growing, and our discernment skills are growing, and it's not going to be nearly as effective as they thought it would be. Now, the reason I said also, besides the fact that we have the ace, that it was planned, it showed up in the situation as a tower moment. And in this tower card, you can see there are people falling from the sky, falling from that tower. It is, a big event. So it's going to be a grand event when it happens. Like I said, it's their last big chance to sway the course of human events and human will. And so we need to guard ours and guide ours in ways that aren't artificially directed. Okay, got an advice card with the recent past again about there's evidence, there's things that we can see in front of us. Don't get distracted and miss something that's obvious. And I think part of that, don't miss it, was the thought about requesting help so that we remove that non-interference clause, and our consent and efforts to manifest, and smart efforts, so that we guard our energy and it can't be hijacked. Okay, and then the final card we had in the basic spread was the Hanged Man, which talks about looking at things in a new way. And possibly through the course of this video, you've gotten some insights into how to look at things in a new way. The power of your consent, the power of manifesting, the power of protecting your energy that you donate to a cause like that so that it can't be changed or hijacked or used by other purposes, and to keep yourself safe in the process. Okay, that's it for this video. So Project Bluebeam rolls out. We're gonna just say, the old adage of believe it when I see it won't apply here, because it will be seen. They've got that technology. But we can immediately say, if, especially if it looks like an invasion type of thing, because I believe we have off-world help, that we keep that from truly happening, because we are such vulnerable little babies in our human path of development walk right now. So we're just going to be asking that it be totally ineffective and rendered harmless and useless, and quickly shown to be the fraud that it is. And if we need off-world help for that, or divine help, it will be there because we've sought it. Okay, that's it for this video. I thank you so much for your time and your attention as we go down some rabbit trails and explore some concepts that aren't quite mainstream, but still have some validity in this complicated world we live in. And I read something really beautiful today. There was someone who said, I wasn't born to be here for the end of things. I was born to be here for the beginning. I love that. That's it in a nutshell for me. I'm willing to see us through the ending of sometimes, but I also want to be here for the beginning. And it's going to be fabulous. Until next time, I send you love and light and wish you everything bright. Bye.